Hi, Leather Rokk here. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, why don't you subscribe while you're right in front of my page. There's a bell there. Hit that bell. Make sure that it looks like it's vibrating. That way you'll see everything I post. And today's subject is going to be the hair dye process again. You know, every time I do the hair dye, I always do a slightly different combination of colors. And I want to make sure that the colors that I do this time are a little less fuchsia, a little bit darker so that it doesn't fade to pink so quickly. And my co-stars are Tabby Boy that you just saw, and Cassie, who's down here, and she's twitching her tail. And cats are smart, and they can tell when you're talking about their tails moving. That's how you can tell they're awake. So let's get to the dyeing process here. And I got my trusty rubber gloves. I'm filming this. It is now 3:18 in the morning. I almost gave up on doing tonight, and I thought that maybe I would try to do this early in the daytime, but there's never enough quiet for daytime filming. If it's not the roommates, it's the people outside, and I can't control the people outside, and I don't feel like fighting with my roommates. So we're going to try to do this now. And the great thing about dyes like this is you don't have to concern yourself with the timing. You can take your time doing the application process as long as you cover it with a plastic bag so that it keeps it from drying out. You can basically soak in your dye all night. Now, I'm going to, usually when I do this, I start off in the back before I film to save time, but I didn't do that this time. And a lot of times I like to start on the back first, but you know what? I'm going to start some in the front because, let's face it, it's a lot easier to see in the front, and it's going to look more interesting for you people who are watching me. Now, this jar that I just opened up, this is Punky Color's brand, and it's their color Plum. When I was first using the proper hair dyes that you use for this process, I used a brand called Manic Panic, and I would actually prefer that brand, but it costs at least $3 more a jar, and in some places it can run you close to $15, if not even more. And I'm not about spending that kind of money. And I feel really bad in a way because when I still lived in Los Angeles, and when I still lived in Hollywood, I actually got a nice package of goodies from the great people at Manic Panic. And unfortunately, a day or two after I got them in the mail, I abruptly lost my roommate situation. And then when I went on the bus to go home for Christmas that year, Greyhound lost my luggage and included losing everything that they sent me. And I feel really bad that I never got around to giving them a thank you card to let them know that I really appreciated what they sent me. But when I had the falling out with the roommates, and then when Greyhound lost my luggage, it was just one of those situations where shit hit in the fan. And so, you know, sometimes things like that happen. So I'm going to take this plum, and I am going to start in the front. Usually I like to have more of a fuchsia color in toward the front so that I have highlights looking around my face, but it seems to me that almost all of that color was one of those kind of colors, and I really want it to stay darker longer. But the only problem is if you use only this color, at least my experience, if I only use this color all over, before the first couple of washings, it ends up looking kind of blue-black. And then if you're dealing with digital photography, a lot of times that shade of purple will photograph as blue, and I don't want to look blue no matter what I do. So I hope that this doesn't take too long for you guys, and I hope I don't forget and pet a cat while my hands are covered with this stuff. I had 3 cats ago, I had a cat that had, she was gray with some white in her, and I actually touched her white part of her with purple, and so she was purple on that part of her for quite a while. Unfortunately, she didn't live very long compared to all our other cats. She got diabetes, and usually diabetes, a cat can go on insulin and live for a very, well, I don't know about a very long time, but I had cat live 15, 16 years with diabetes, and as long as you give them the shots, and it's not hard to give shots on a cat, but it wasn't the diabetes that was probably what killed that cat. But anyway, these are safe. Even a cat could probably lick a little bit of it and it won't hurt him. I hear you. And you better not go bathroom. You know what? I better open my door a little bit because Tabby Boy can't be trusted. All right, Tabby. Yeah, I don't want Tabby Boy using my floor as a litter box. I'm not about that. Hi, Cassie. How you doing? I hope you could see what I'm doing. You know, it's easy for the days to sneak up on you when you're a full-time YouTuber like I am, and you have committed to a schedule. It's sometimes one of the things that will happen is because I have the video for Saturday and then my next video is supposed to be on a Tuesday, and sometimes it's as if I expect that there's an extra day in between Monday and Tuesday, as ridiculous that sounds, and this has really happened to me before where Tuesday will sneak up on me because of the weekend. So, and it's something, if you also have a YouTube channel and you're running, doing a 3-day-a-week schedule, maybe you can relate to this. Oh. Now, these paste formulations, it seems like it takes more of them to do the job because they're not thin and runny, but it's nice that they're not runny. The liquid dyes, they will run onto your face and onto your clothes, and I think I would have tried filming a little bit earlier today, but I was looking for a long sleeve shirt that I don't mind getting dye on. I had long sleeve shirts that I deliberately wore for my dyeing because that way when the dye would get on them, they would look kind of tie-dyed. But where they are right now, I honestly don't know. Now, this shirt that I'm wearing, I want to give you a look at this. This shirt is actually from this is from my first Life in Color, which is used to be called Day Glow, and it's also called Paint Party. And I know I've talked about these before. They are events that play techno and rave music, and dubstep, things like that. And people dress in white and they dance to the music, and there are these paint cannons that squirt non-toxic paint on them. And that's why the shirt says party hard in the paint. That's what this is referring to. And I often wear this when I'm dyeing my hair, but I've washed it enough times that most of the color came out of it. So, you know what? I'm going to put this away from my computer. My computer is purple, so I'm not worried about it being stained. Hopefully I won't get it all over my face. Sometimes the directions will say that you should put Vaseline around the perimeter of your hairline and stuff. I don't like doing that because, first of all, Vaseline is terribly pore clogging. Second of all, then the Vaseline gets in your hair, and you know how many shampoos it would take to get that out? And doing a whole lot of shampoos is not what you want to do if you want your dye to stay. And I am notorious for really not washing my hair too frequently so that I do preserve the color. And these colors, they totally are safe to sleep in do a real long timing because they have built-in hair conditioners. And even though they are technically semi-permanent vegetable-based dyes, because they're pretty much food coloring mixed with an acid and a hair conditioner. So that really helps them to, they can't penetrate the cuticle layer of the hair, but they will stain it long enough that they make a very good dye. I had some things go on with my neighbors earlier today, and I really would like to make a video, a storytime video, and talk about that, but I just kind of have mixed feelings about it because I don't want the people that I'm having issues with finding out that I make videos and that I might be mentioning them, so maybe I won't say anything, but there are some shady dealings with some people that just don't know the law and think that they can harass and intimidate people. And when it happens that I'm able to move out of this area, I will definitely be telling some stories that will make you guys' heads spin. You know. I hope the next time I dye my hair, I don't wait so long to do my roots. The last thing I want is to be as faded as I was during the summertime, when arguably it's most important for me to look my best because there's so many more activities to do, so many more opportunities to meet new people. A lot of concerts going to be going on. Speaking of concerts, today tickets for Yes went on sale, and I'm sorry to say that I didn't go. I just can't justify the expense. I mean, tickets are not cheap if you want to actually be close enough to be able to see. Since I made a makeup order a couple of days ago, and when that arrives, that's going to be its own unboxing. So, unless I knew for sure that I was going to be working enough so that I had X amount of money saved and set aside, I just can't justify expenditures right now. I have to really watch. Let me close my door here so that my talking doesn't disturb my roommates, even though I think they might be asleep by now. You know, one thing that sucks about using short sleeves to do hair dyes like that, it's very hard to avoid getting dye on your arms. But you know what? One thing is I have plenty of time to scrub myself down. I'm not planning on doing anything outside tomorrow, so, and I believe one of my roommates is going to be out, and that means I will have plenty of time to finally get in the shower and wash my hair. I prefer to get in and wash my hair when the roommate's not home, just because, you know, some people are a real pain in the backside. On the subject of roommates, so I have two roommates, and one of them, the one that I'm always complaining about. Now, I know today was a nice day out. May have been 60, 61 degrees. I don't know. So, anyway, I couldn't help but notice he had his windows open, and most of our windows don't have screens in them. And I'm not even going to bug our landlord about getting the screens fixed, because the landlord, for out of convenience, decided to have somebody that we didn't really feel too comfortable about, somebody affiliated with somebody that we had been having problems with, who tried to replace our screens the last time, and the guy didn't know what he was doing, and the screens pretty much popped out like within a week of his attempting to insert them. And we're funny about having strangers traipsing around in the apartment, because you just don't always know who you can trust. And I don't necessarily want strangers seeing my crap, you know. Yeah, this week has been slipping by pretty fast. And this is going to be a really involved month for me, because every weekend is a different band that I am seeing. So, and hopefully before the month is over, hopefully I'll be getting the rest of my shipment from one of the companies that I ordered from. Sometimes when you buy makeup online, some companies, they're actually are companies that a whole lot of different people are sellers, and your merchandise is all from different companies. And so instead of getting one box full of stuff, you get individual envelopes full of different things. And that's what I'm waiting on now. And if I do get all of my stuff, and it's going on 2 months now since I placed those orders, but as soon as I get the rest of my shipments, I mean, I can't wait to show you guys what I got. I contacted a company saying, I think I have reasonable amount of patience, but my patience is wearing thin. And they offered to send me a an adjustment, like store credit or something. But I'm thinking, I've already waited this long. What's another couple of weeks? The prices are really good, which was part of the appeal. But I've never had to wait this long for an order in my life. So, and it's not like they're going to go bad. I mean, it's makeup, right? You know. This stuff seems like I need to put so much on the jarred stuff. I mean, the liquid stuff is so much easier, even though it's a messier process. But there's always going to be messy. I mean, look at how much of it gets on my face, and I'm trying hard for it not to. I wish I had 2 jars of this. I got so much hair that if I was using this exclusively, 1 jar isn't enough. I'm more like a jar and a half is what I would need. you know what? Okay, I will talk about my neighbors. Well, you guys know I like to smoke weed. And frankly, so does one of my roommates. And we have some real pain in the backside people living near us. And oh my God, the people down below, which I don't really want to talk about them anymore because I had 2 videos about that situation and I put them to private because I don't want the guilty people knowing that I have this channel. Well, and so if you know who I'm talking about, don't say anything in the comments, okay? Which, you know, I moderate comments, so I'm not going to put them up if they were posted anyway. But I went downstairs to check my mailbox, and when I did, I had an encounter with the people downstairs, and they made a comment about the marijuana smoke. And I said, well, you know what? You really can't say anything about it because my roommate is a medical patient. He's got a special medical card. He goes to dispensaries. My roommate in question is bipolar and he's got pain issues. And he has epilepsy. And state of New Jersey is one of the most difficult states to prove medical from cannabis, okay? So he has a legal right to do it that even I don't have, all right? And you can't tell me that you're going to go and tell a person that they can't use medicine in their own home. That is totally against the law. That is, you're talking a federal law there, even though this is a state issue, states' right, because I know the federal law, it's totally illegal. But anybody that knows anything about the law knows that you cannot interfere with somebody medicating in his or her own home. And as much as I don't get along with that roommate in question, I gotta call bullshit when I hear bullshit. So, but I'm so mad at my roommate, you know what? I'm not going to, I'm just gonna stay out of his way and ignore him. I'm not gonna give him a heads up. I'm not gonna say anything. Because I know if my skirt caught on fire, he wouldn't pee on me to put the fire out. He hates me that much. So, and nobody can afford to move into different situations because of, we just, you know, moving's a real pain in the ass. So nobody's going anywhere for quite a while. And I should have said something about all the neighbors' tobacco smoke that was seeping through. I had to put paper in that back door to keep the tobacco smoke from our neighbors from getting into my apartment. I really cannot stand tobacco smoke. When it's outside, it's one thing, but indoors, there's no escaping it. And when I get sick, like with bronchitis or something, I'm sick for a good month. And since I don't have a doctor right now, last thing I need is to get sick. So if we have to suffer secondhand smoke from neighboring apartments, they have no right to bitch about the weed. That's how I see it. Okay, I'm still have a lot more of this, but I'm going to switch to another color now. Yeah, it's great that I could just wipe my hands on my shirt. Okay, which of these? Each of these three is a slightly different color. This is, these are all, these companies, this is all Kiss Express color, by the way. This color here is called Real Purple. This color here is called Intense Purple. And this one here is called Purple Rage. Now, on the subject of hair dye, there are some more dyes here I'm not going to use. This is another, this is supposed to be, this is also from Kiss Express Color. This is called Violet, and I have 3 of these. Unfortunately now, these don't have a seal on them like a lot of dyes do, and because these are semi-permanent vegetable-based dyes, you don't have to worry about chemical reactions and stuff. That's why they don't have an inner seal. I did a cotton ball test, and because I wanted to see what kind of a purple shade they were. And I could even show you the 3 dyes that I just showed you before. This is what they look like on cotton pad. And this is another purple, and this is what it looks like. Now, those 3 violets, this is what they look like on cotton. It's almost, it's more brown than it is purple. So, and the last thing I want is brown here. So, I am going to, I don't know what I'm going to do with those dyes. I haven't used them. There's nothing wrong with them. I certainly don't know anybody locally that does their hair purple, even though it looks brown enough so that they really don't seem purple at all to me. But I've got to give them to somebody. Okay, I got to decide which of these 3 to start with. You know what? And there's people that are being too loud out the window right now, and I think I'm going to have to. Hey, it's almost 4 in the morning. Please knock it off. I hate these assholes. Okay. Knock it off! Shut up! I'm so sick of these damn people. You know, I go out of my way to film in the wee hours so that I am not disturbed, so that I could film in quiet. And I have people that are making noise. Sometimes I totally want to just go outside and confront people. I don't know why they are doing this. Would you shut up? I'm trying to film right now and you're making too much fucking noise. Shut up! God. One of these days, I'm afraid I'm going to hurt somebody. A person has a right in their own home. It is 3:47 in the morning, and a person has a right to not be disturbed. There could be, most of the people that are around here are asleep. Okay, I'm not asleep, but I do have a right to not be disturbed. I can never film at a decent normal hour. I can never film in the daytime. I live in the ghetto. You got all kinds of crackheads and heroin users and all kinds of people that are buying and selling their poisons, which is what killed Cassie the cat's human mommy. Just the other day, I was going on my way to the post office, and a bunch of suburban-looking white guys offered me tickets. And guess what? Tickets does not mean concert tickets. Apparently, tickets are code words for something to do with heroin. I didn't know that. That's not my world. But since somebody had told me that that was one of the code names, I said, you know what? Don't talk to me about that crap. That crap killed one of my good friends out here. And it's a good thing that I found out about her dying. And you know, I first thought the cat was dead, too. I thought the cat was killed right away. That crap is going on around here. Now, when I lived in Hollywood, and I was going to clubs all the time, and a lot of clubs were in mixed residential and commercial zones, and there were always signs near the clubs saying to be mindful of your neighbors and don't be noisy and stuff. And they weren't in 100 languages either. They were in English, and people pretty much did not disturb the neighbors, and they pretty much acted halfway civilized. If they tried having signs here, they'd have to have them in several languages. You know, it's not just Spanish, English. You got all kinds of exotic Middle Eastern immigration here. Just one street over is bathrobes and headscarves and all kinds of stuff. I don't even feed the feral cats anymore because the neighbors were not cool about it. And this one person that lived right next door to where I was feeding the cats, he assured me that he was feeding them. And in fact, he did show me very large bags of cat food. So, but that still isn't going to take care of the problem of setting out traps to get cats spayed and neutered, which is what needs to be done to solve the overpopulation issue. Well, at least those people went. There is never a time that's totally quiet. But I really was thinking of waiting until tomorrow. But if I had done that, then by the time I finally posted this video, it would be much later than I would have liked. Now, the Punky Colors, by the way, smells like grape. After this, when I'm ready to retouch my hair the next time, I think I am going to need to go to the beauty supply and get some more dye. I know I'm going to need to get more peroxide. I totally out of the peroxide. I have plenty of powdered bleach lightener, but I used up the last drop of peroxide when I bleached my roots last week. So one of my friends on Facebook, who's actually a high school classmate of mine, suggested when I made a comment about not having enough quiet to film and not having a soundproof studio, which would be the ideal situation. And he suggested, why don't I pre-record a voiceover, or shoot it and then do a voiceover afterwards? But that would involve editing skills that I just don't have. If I knew how to do fancy editing, then you would see fancy editing on my channel. Obviously, I don't have that skill set, and I don't feel like paying somebody to do it. So, you do what you're able to do in this life. Sure, my videos would look better if I could edit them, but guess what? It is what it is. Must not bother you or you wouldn't be watching. Now, if I wanted to film, say at noon, noon's never a good time because you've got people lined up underneath my windows because there's different people that give away different things around here. You've got people that come down here from different parts of the city for different things. And then during the weekends, my goodness, you got people looking for places to park so they can go to the clubs and things. You know. We have an alleyway that attracts people doing all kinds of criminal activities. I found out that the dead body that was found was a stabbing death. See, at first I thought maybe it was a drug overdose, but now the reason why they soaked the whole alley down is apparently there was a whole lot of blood. That would account for the police and what looked like riot gear and the crime scene tape and all that stuff. When I came home from club the other night, I had to mention that to the dirt balls that were hanging around outside. I was talking like I was on their side and I was just looking after them, but I was actually trying to just encourage them to move on down the road. I have to walk past people like that when I'm coming and going very late at night, and I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't make me feel uneasy. I don't understand why people need to walk down the street yelling. It's 3:57 in the morning. I just don't understand how people think that's okay. You could see that there's residential buildings all around. When you see a 3- and 4-story building, you've got to figure out that there's people living, at least in the upper floors. If the storefront has a store or something, there's people living up there. Why people don't shut up? This is where the whole process gets tricky because I don't have that three-way mirror and I can't really see in back of my head. And with roommates being asleep, there's nobody to spot me. So you guys are going to spot me. Not that you can tell me if I missed anything, because assuming you even do comment, the comments won't be visible to me until sometime tomorrow after I've probably already taken my bag off of my hair and I have gotten in the shower and I have rinsed it out. So and I know I can always go back, and if I saw a blonde spot, I can always just go and put the dye in where it goes. But the only problem with that is then when I go and wash my hair, I will not only wash out that part, but I will also fade the pre-colored hair. I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm going to switch to another color. I really like to get that PC look. Not PC like politically correct. PC, like pieces. Big, thick pieces of individual colors. It gives a more dimensional look that way than just one flat, same color. Usually I'd be clipping my hair out of the way, the pre-dyed stuff. Oh, here it is. See, this is where I suppose background music would come in handy. I notice a lot of YouTubers do like to put music in the background, and half of them probably don't realize that they're breaking copyright laws by doing it. I guess you know, with the UK's Article 13, YouTube is going to be getting a lot more strict with copyrights. So those people that are careless with using music that they don't own the rights to, you know, some heads might be rolling as far as more copyright strikes and things might be happening in the future. But I also understand that people like to have music in the background to make up for the dead air. But I find music can be very, very distracting. And half the time, the music is turned up so loud that you can't hear what a person's saying when they are speaking. So, more likely, the music won't be something that you like. I can't tell you how many videos I think are ruined by having rap, hip hop music in the background. And to me, that's just so obnoxious. I mean, if I want that, I mean, I get that crap in my own neighborhood. You have cars that will take their time going down the street and they'll be blasting that hip hop stuff. You never have anybody, you never see a convertible going down the street blasting classical music. Wouldn't that be cool if somebody did? But no, it's always really obnoxious stuff. You know what I associate one of my earliest driving memories I associate with classical music. This was when I was driving my only car across the country to California when I first moved to California, and I only had 13 days licensed driving experience when I drove that car across the country, which scared the hell out of my parents and their friends. But I didn't understand why they were so scared, because the way I saw it, I wanted to go and do this. I'm the kind of person that if I waited around for people to do what I wanted to do, I would never get anything done. You can't go through life waiting around for people to join you when it comes to time to fulfill your dreams. You have to just go and do it. And if you have any fear involved, you have to break through the fear and just have to go for it. So I only had 13 licensed driving days when I set across the country. And because I was so inexperienced, I hadn't yet gotten the hang of keeping a consistent speed. So I finally kind of got the hang of it going through Missouri. And I found a classical music station. And that I thought was much better for keeping an even speed than, for instance, listening to heavy metal, which makes a person, I think, more likely to put the pedal to the metal and gun it. And that's not something really you should do. So, but classical music helped me to drive in a civilized manner. I wonder if that's true for everybody. Because obviously, all classical music does not sound the same. Ah! Just tripped over a cat water. I'm really wearing it good this time. I don't want to grab any of my makeup mirrors that are from palettes because I will get purple dye all over them. But I really need to see what the back of my head looks like. So much glare on that side of the mirror, I can't really see half of what I'm doing. I mean, I've been doing this most of my life at this point, you know? So easy to miss spots. Spot here. Yeah, after what happened this morning, I think I'm going to really go out of my way to avoid the people downstairs. There's one or two good people in that bunch, but there are others that are just really don't have any respect. And they keep on breaking this hydraulic door that slams right underneath my bed. And when I contact our landlord, then of course he ends up talking to them and gets them to fix it, but it never stays fixed for long. It's like, how do you keep on breaking a hydraulic door? Unless slamming it deliberately helps to break it. And that's something that, even though they wrote made a handwritten sign saying don't slam the door. A few people deliberately do it, and we know it's deliberate. They would be so, nothing would please them more than for us to move out. But nobody's moving until we're good and ready, and you need to have a place to move to. Hopefully, by doing this, if there's little pieces that didn't really take dye, that dye will rub off on them. Okay, I'm going to see if there's anything that I missed. This looks like sometimes you can tell that you miss a spot because the scalp is dry there, and even though the rubber gloves make it harder to detect wetness, the coolness of wet dye would also be a giveaway. I think this is it. If I find out that I missed anything yesterday, I'll just spot dye that area. And now I've got to find a plastic bag to use to. These plastic bags, they not only keep the hair dye from drying out, but they also hold the heat of the scalp in, which helps the color to really penetrate well. And plastic bags like you would get from a grocery store are much roomier than shower caps. Okay, I gotta get a plastic bag. Oh, okay. There. I have never found a better way to do this than these plastic bags. I think if I ever do find myself in a place that is outlawed plastic bags, I'll just go with a whole bunch. I'll just bring in from another state so that I still have bags to do this. I can't imagine not getting bags to do your grocery shopping. I mean, why would you... What do people use in those areas to line their trash containers if you don't have plastic bags? That's crazy. This government bureaucracy, people telling you that you can't buy this and that, I don't know. I thought we were supposed to have less regulation. Okay. Well, got my hair dye on. 3 squeezed bottles and a jar. And the next time you see me, I will have my dye on my hair and I won't be having a stupid bag on my head. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Oh, if you like me and my content, I would love to have you subscribe. I almost always have a pussycat in my videos. And I would love to have you join me on my little adventures. Cassie and I, and Tabby Boy, if he was in the room, would say thank you for watching. Oh, and take care of yourself. And I will see you in a couple days. Bye.